Hey, welcome to another episode of Huddle Up with Mark, the Fun Coach. I am Mark Duncan. This video is probably going to rub some of you the wrong way. I'm sure the title alone probably piqued your interest. So, why do I believe that fundraising events don't work? Well, before I get into that, let's talk about why we do fundraising events to begin with. What are the good things about them? What are great reasons to do fundraising events? One, it is a great way for you to bring the community together, right? It's an opportunity to celebrate. It's an opportunity to gather and build community. Second, it is a great way to build awareness about your organization and the good work that you're doing. So, no matter what kind of event you do, there's an opportunity to tell your story to a group of people, right? And they can hear about the great things you're doing. It's an opportunity to actually have them hear from the people that you serve, right? So there's some really great things about it. And finally, they're fun, right? If you're going to do a gala, you're going to do a golf tournament, you're going to do a gourmet dinner, those things can be fun. They're great ways to bring people together. It's an excuse to dress up and have a good time. But here are some reasons why you should think about whether or not to do a fundraising event. Now, some of you may be doing fundraising events, and some of you may be thinking about doing fundraising events. So let me sort of lay the groundwork for you because I really think this is going to help you if you have never done an event before, or even if you have, this may be a good way to fine tune. Okay. So the very first thing, regardless of what you decide to do, golf tournament, a gala, gourmet dinner, um, a garage sale, you know, those kinds of events, right, are opportunities for you to raise money. But the very first thing you need to do is you need to set a dollar goal for how much you want to net from this fundraiser. That's the money you want to bring in after all the expenses are done. Okay. So think about that number. In fact, I would advise you not only to think about that number, but that you as an organization have a set number that you must net for any event in order for you to go forward with it. I worked at an organization once where the net minimum for a fundraising event was $100,000. If we could net $100,000, then we would move forward with the event. Anything under that, we wouldn't move forward with it. Now, some of you may be doing events that you may be netting, I don't know, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000. Here's why it's important for you to set this goal and so that you understand what you're stepping into. You want to know if the goal that you set is worth the effort that you're going to put in to the event to make it happen. So let's say you want to raise $20,000, or maybe you didn't have a dollar goal in mind. You went ahead with the event and you netted $15,000 or $20,000. The event took you 6 to 8 months to plan and execute. Everybody had a good time. Um, you know, uh, People enjoyed the food or whatever. So you created a great experience. But the purpose for you doing it, the main purpose for you doing it, is to raise money. So at the end of all of that, after 6 to 8 months of planning and execution, you happen to net $15,000 to $20,000. Then you have to ask yourself, could I have raised $15,000 to $20,000 in another way? And primarily through relationship fundraising. And you knew I was going to say that, right? So think about how many $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 gifts you can get in a 6 to 8 month period versus just netting $15,000 to $20,000 at the end of the event. So this is really, and many of you are working for organizations that don't have a lot of staff. And so you want to make sure that you're maximizing the staff that you have. And so engaging in, and yes, volunteers are needed and you can use them. Again, these are fun things to do. But at the end of the day, the objective is to raise money. And if you're only going to net $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, you could probably raise that money by sitting with people that you know have capacity, making the case, making the ask, and closing the deal. And you could probably raise 5 or 10 times the amount that you would net from that event. So make sure you have a goal and make sure you set a minimum goal as a policy for fundraising events across the board. Okay. There's nothing that doesn't that says that you can't do the event and it not be a fundraiser. So then you're not out there trying to secure sponsorships, right? You create a budget, do the event, everybody has a good time. You still get to raise awareness about your organization, bring the community together, and have a lot of fun, right? So now, once you've decided on what that dollar goal is, the next thing you need to do is you need to create a budget so that you can plan on securing sponsorship dollars to cover your expenses. So once you created a budget, you know what it's going to cost you. And I'll use a golf tournament as an example. You know what it's going to cost you to use the course. And by the way, little tip here, you do a golf tournament as a fundraiser, try to find somebody, either a board member or somebody that you know, who is a member at a private course. Okay. Private courses are very desirable. And so when you do a golf outing at a private course, you're going to give access to people who aren't members to be able to play for that day. And you'll be able to charge a little bit more too because of the perceived value. So think about that when you do a golf tournament. If you find a member, they're the ones that it actually operates under their name, and you'll likely have to do it on a Monday. Most private courses are closed on Mondays, so you would do your golf tournament on Monday. But do your budget first. What's it going to cost for the course? What's it going to cost for food? Are you doing a lunch and a dinner? Are you teeing off in the morning or in the afternoon? Are you doing 2 flights, teeing off in the morning, teeing off in the afternoon? And then what kind of a culminating event are you going to do for that? So usually that's a dinner. So you put all that together, the cost to actually run the event, and how much it's going to cost for a full field, right, of players. So now, once you have that figured out, now you need to go out and secure sponsorship dollars to cover every penny that you plan to spend before you sell a single ticket or a single foursome. Okay. So the objective here is to get all of your dollars in the door so that when you do sell tickets, foursomes, maybe you just sell tickets to the reception, the dinner at the end. Maybe you're going to be selling mulligans. So that's a thing that people can buy that helps you raise more money. Maybe you're going to do a raffle of some sort. Maybe there's an auction that is part of the culminating event at the end, both live and silent, right? All of that stuff is gravy. You want to make sure that you cover your expenses before you sell a single ticket. That will ensure that you're going to net a significant amount. Now, you can always raise more sponsorship dollars. Don't stop at what your expenses are going to be. Keep going. Keep going. So if your expenses for a golf tournament are $25,000 and you happen to raise $75,000 in sponsorships, you're already winning before you even sell a single ticket. So be aggressive and make sure that this is worth your while. And the way to do that is to secure your sponsorship dollars before you sell a single ticket. Okay. So now, once you've done that, now you have ensured that you're going to raise the dollars that you need. There's nothing worse than spending 6 to 8 months planning and executing an event, only raising $15, $20, $25,000 when you could have raised more than that by building relationships with people, because the money you need is about serving the people that you serve. And so why not do so in a fashion that allows you to spend the least amount of time to have the most results? So you might have heard me say this before when I talk about lopsided fundraising. Events fall in that category. They can if you do them the wrong way. Now, what I'm sharing with you is the right way to do events, right? Why events don't work is because many organizations are not doing the things that I'm suggesting, not creating a minimum that you need to raise, not securing sponsorships up front, all the things to ensure success before you move forward. Okay. The other thing that's really important too is that whether you're doing a gala or you're doing a golf tournament, and you've probably heard me say this before, but it again bears repeating, that make sure you pay attention to who's in the room. So if you are doing a golf tournament, you're doing a gala, you're doing gourmet dinner, who's participating, right? Yes, they've paid money to participate, but your objective is to thank them for coming and tee them up, no pun intended, tee them up for uh, a meeting later. So if you run into a couple at the gala that you've been meaning to get in contact with and start building a relationship with them, walk up to them, thank them for coming, and say, hey, I would love to grab coffee or lunch with both of you. Would it be okay if I give you a call to set that up? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. And now you've done seed planting at the event to make sure that you are maximizing everything that happened at the event. So before you engage in any events, make sure that you set a minimum goal for what you want to raise. Make sure you secure your sponsorship dollars to more than cover your expenses, and before you sell a single ticket, and make sure that you are maximizing the opportunities at the event. Do seed planting so that you can follow up, because the person who paid $250 to come to the gala could likely give you $25,000 when you build a relationship with them that will lead to that ask. Okay. So I hope this is helpful to you. I was really excited to talk about this because this is a conversation that I have fairly often. And so, but I think it's important for you to note. So I hope this is helpful. And as always, whether you're doing a fundraising event, whether you are raising dollars through powerful relationships with people who have capacity, at the end of the day, fundraising is not about the dollars. It's about what the dollars do for the people that you serve. Thanks. We'll see you next time.